It all begins in the vastness of the galaxy. The camera travels through countless worlds until it reaches a majestic castle where we meet Rosaline, the supreme authority of the cosmos. She appears to indicate to her little stars that the time has come to rest gently. She gathers them all to sleep in that serene environment, mentions that a long time ago there was a princess of the Mushroom Kingdom named Peach. However, one of the stars interrupts her to tell the story of the plumbers. Rosalina then begins to talk about Mario and Luigi, but she is again interrupted, this time to tell the Donkey Kong related part. Just at that moment, strange noises coming from outside the castle force her to stop her story. Princess Rosalina goes out to investigate, and suddenly a mysterious machine appears announcing that it has come to take her away. Without hesitation, he defends himself using his magic wand and an intense confrontation begins. Its stars come alarmed, claiming that they have had a nightmare. However, they soon realize that this is not a dream but an attack. Real against his protector, when the machine opens, a sinister voice proclaims that from the ashes of his father's defeat, a new winner has emerged. It's about Bowser Jr. One of the stars tries to defend Rosaline, but little Bowser captures her and snatches her away mercilessly. Next, the scene changes and we see Mario and Luigi riding through the desert on happy and carefree motorcycles. They travel great distances until they reach a small town. There, they claim to be famous bikers and explain that they have arrived because of a stranger. Phenomenon that requires your intervention. Since the inhabitants do not allow themselves to be understood, they communicate their concern by signs and point to a cave where a disturbing noise comes from. Determined, the brothers prepare to enter. They enter cautiously, lighting their way with small flames in their hands. Finding a hole in the ground, they decide to descend without hesitation. Mario is brave, while Luigi, though scared, musters the courage to continue by his side. They finally reach a pipe clogged with stones, which increases their concern. When they remove the stones, they discover that it is a small dinosaur, which tells them that its name is Yoshi. At that moment, Yoshi recounts how he ended up trapped in that place. His origin is shown since he was born from the egg, seen in the post-credit scene of the first film. After going out into the world, he led an apparently quiet life, although his restless nature led him to cause several disasters. On one occasion, he even knocked down the skeleton of a dinosaur in a museum, causing the police to chase him down until he was captured. This is how he ended up locked inside that back to the present tube. Mario and Luigi are happy to meet Yoshi and give him a warm welcome. Soon after, an excited Yoshi takes Luigi's motorcycle without warning. Thus, the three Mario, Luigi and Yoshi undertake a new journey through the desert together. On the other hand, Princess Rosalina, after having been kidnapped along with one of her stars, is taken too by Bowser Jr. to what he describes as the last place he'll see alive. With an arrogant tone, he presents her as the guardian of the cosmos, the mother of the stars, assuring that thanks to her powers, they will soon be able to destroy the universe. Once there, Rosaline is locked in a cage as they separate her little star from her side. This act unleashes her fury. Outraged, she declares that no one dares touch her children in a power outburst, releases intense energy with the intention of escaping and orders her star to flee. However, in that remainder, an unexpected advantage of Bowser Jr. is revealed. He also has a magic wand, but it is not an ordinary one, but a kind of brush capable of materializing everything he draws. He quickly creates a carnivorous plant that traps Rosalina, leaving her at his mercy again, while proclaiming that he has begun the most important battle of his life, the mission to free his father. For their part, Mario and Luigi prepare together with Yoshi for a new adventure. The goal is clear: to help Mario express how important speech is to him. As a special gesture, they have prepared a gift that symbolizes their feelings. On their way outside the Mushroom Kingdom, they meet Little Toad the Beach on the way, who does not welcome Yoshi's addition to the group, especially when this one snatches his caramel apple from him, generating a moment as tense as it is comical. Finally, Mario arrives at the castle to see Princess Peach since it is a special day for her birthday. However, Peach comments with some melancholy that the date is actually symbolic, since it was the day they found her when she was just a girl. He confesses that he does not know his true origin and that he would like to find out who he really is and where he comes from. At that moment, Mario gives her his gift, an elegant pink umbrella that immediately fascinates the princess. Suddenly, the sky lights up with strange flashes that begin to descend, leaving Peach, Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and all the inhabitants of the Mushroom Kingdom amazed and also restless. Seconds later, a loud explosion shakes the nearby forest. Without wasting time, Princess Peach, now determined, heads with Mario, Luigi, and the others to the impact site. There, they discover the origin of the phenomenon. This is Rosalina's star, the one who escaped, who has come straight into the world of Peach, bringing with her an omen of what is to come? The little star relates that her mother used to read her countless stories before going to bed, stories in which Princess Peach always appeared. He had told her that if anything ever went wrong, he should look for her without hesitation. That's why I got there. With obvious anguish, he explains that his mother is in danger. A strange machine kidnapped her and took her to a dark, distant planet beyond the known galaxy. At that moment, several inhabitants of the Mushroom Kingdom interrupt, concerned to express that they do not wish Princess Peach to leave the kingdom. Mario firmly intervenes and guides them out. Then Peach, already decided, asks Sophial Toad to prepare everything necessary, as they will leave immediately through a portal with the aim of rescuing Rosalina. The princess heads to the so-called Heavenly Gate Galaxy in search of the Star Mother, leaving Mario in charge of the Mushroom Kingdom. Thus, we see the two brothers assume responsibility and dedicate themselves to helping their inhabitants. They help a little mushroom who has dropped his ice cream, rescue others who were being mugged, and even save one who was about to be devoured by a wild creature. In all these tasks, they also have the enthusiastic help of the dinosaur Yoshi when they finally seem to have finished a new one. Arma bursts into the kingdom. A strange commotion is coming from Bowser's little castle. Suddenly, Bowser appears in his miniature version, who goes out to meet Mario and Luigi. He appears distracted, drawing and painting constantly. Among his creations, we see a disturbing drawing of Mario, represented as a skull with a changing attitude. He affirms that he will destroy it, although he immediately retracts and apologizes, remembering that for the moment he must behave like a good Bowser to demonstrate that he deserves to be released with tone. He insists. He assures that he will ask Princess Peach to release him thanks to his supposed good behavior. However, he fails to hide his true nature for long. In a fit of rage, he threatens to burn Mario alive and then apologizes once more. He then shows her one of his drawings intended for Peach, in which he appears next to her, which clearly makes Mario uncomfortable. After saying goodbye, a violent shake begins to shake the entire Mushroom Kingdom. Mario and Luigi react immediately by evacuating all the inhabitants. Faced with imminent danger, they manage to get the mushrooms to safety, but they fail to escape in time along with Yoshi. Suddenly, the entire castle is ripped out of its place and begins to be transported into the galaxy. Astonished, the brothers and the dinosaur watch as everything is carried into space in. So when they are again visited by Bowser Jr., now in the middle of the galaxy, in a much more disturbing and dangerous scenario, invoking the name of the Cubs, Bowser Jr. demands the release of his father. Mario flatly refuses, causing the little villain to take an agile, almost ninja-like form. He then formally introduces himself as Bowser Jr., making it clear that he has come for one purpose only, to rescue his father. Without wasting time, he begins a fight against Mario, Luigi and Yoshi thanks to his peculiar wand, capable of materializing what he draws. He proves to be much more powerful than the brothers. When Bowser Jr. is about to defeat Mario, Luigi intervenes at the last moment. This act infuriates the young Bowser, who redirects his attack towards him. However, Yoshi reacts quickly and using his tongue manages to push him away and save Luigi. In the midst of the chaos, Bowser Jr.'s right hand appears on his ship, but the dinosaur swallows him without thinking, momentarily taking his place. This further unleashes the fury of Bowser Jr., who charges at Yoshi, provoking an explosion that severely damages the machine they were in. As a consequence, the system fails, Peach's castle is freed, and everyone falls into the void except Bowser Jr., who remains in the machine along with his subordinate, who manages to get out of Yoshi's interior. Finally, the castle collapses on a strange planet. Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi manage to escape in time by running to avoid getting hurt. Shortly thereafter, they discover that Bowser has been released from his miniature prison. He tries to escape but cannot. At that moment, Mario talks to him about his son, revealing to him that Bowser Jr. tried to kill him in his attempt to rescue him. Bowser, surprised, seems to barely remember his son. He confesses that he hasn't seen him in years and that he probably hates him. Mario emphasizes that his own son was willing to eliminate him in order to fulfill his goal, but he makes it clear that he still will not allow Bowser to be free. On the other hand, Princess Peach and her faithful Toad arrive in the Celestial Gate Galaxy upon observing an advertisement reporting the disappearance of Rosaline. Peach experiences vague memories of her childhood, as if he had some bond with her since she was a baby. At that moment, a mischievous monkey appears and steals Toad's belongings without hesitation. Peach and her companion chase him until they see the animal go through a wall. As if it were a portal, Peach asks Toad not to separate as she goes into her quest to get back with Mario and Luigi. The latter informs his brother that Bowser wishes to talk to him. The villain, with a mixture of pride and frustration, claims that he was born to be big, while Mario has always been small. He proposes that with a single blow he can return it to its original size. Then she begins to provoke him insistently, seeking to enrage him. Finally, Mario, overcome by anger, stomps on him hard, causing Bowser to regain his giant size. Meanwhile, Princess Peach and Toad arrive in a completely different world. An extravagant casino-like place full of games, lights, and strange creatures. Despite the chaos and crowd, they continue to follow the monkey's trail, going deeper and deeper into that mysterious and dangerous environment. They finally arrive before the self-proclaimed king of the casino without hesitation. Princess Peach looks at him with disdain, calling him warty face and demanding to know Rosalina's whereabouts. The so-called monarch, offended and threatening, tries to intimidate her and orders all his allies to attack. However, Peach shows relentless determination, takes on every one of them and firmly defeats them until he comes face to face with only the king. He also cannot resist his defeated power. He is forced to speak. He finally reveals Rosa's location. Salina, Bowser's son, holds her captive in the nebulous galaxy. Then he orders Bowser Jr. to be contacted. For their part, Mario, Luigi, Yoshi and Bowser try to find a way to leave the planet they have fallen on along with the castle. To achieve this, they must request the help of the queen of that world. However, upon arrival, they discover that said queen is actually a giant bee. Furious that the fall of the castle has destroyed their flower field, full of anger, she decides to capture them as punishment at that critical moment. Bowser very unexpectedly intervenes to save them in an act of sacrifice, ordering them to flee and make their enemy proud while he stays behind, offering himself as a servant to compensate for the damage caused. As Bowser works with the other bees, they begin to ask him questions about love. With a certain melancholy, he recounts how a woman abandoned him on his wedding day, an event that ended up darkening his heart. Just then, Bowser Jr. appears to rescue him. Father and son meet again and merge in an unexpected embrace. Bowser Jr. then tells him that he was expelled from the boarding school where he was and that from now on they will both become the most powerful beings in the universe. He remembers nostalgically when he was little and his mother told him stories every night. In one of them, he spoke of a villain with shining hair who conquered everything in his path. This villain had a son and together they dreamed of dominating everything. Inspired by those stories, Bowser Jr. reveals that he has built Planet Bowser, a place designed for chaos and domination, with a roller coaster of evil, huge structures with their faces, a lava lake, and an imposing apocalyptic canyon. Their objective is clear: to use the most powerful princess as a source of energy to propel their ultimate weapon. They plan to travel from planet to planet, destroying it mercilessly until they reign over a universe reduced to ashes. In their account, they even imagine celebrating together over the remains of conquered worlds. Bowser Jr., with almost childlike enthusiasm, assures his father that he has finally made that dream come true and that together they will be invincible. However, that moment is interrupted when Bowser Jr.'s right-hand man, who appears to inform him that an urgent message has arrived from the Casino King, changes the course of events again. Princess Peach, on the other hand, encounters a robot named Rob who only provides them with the direction to go. To continue their mission, they need a pilot, so guided by that information finally. Even Fox McCloud, the renowned leader of a legendary team, is a character who values only the epic. According to him, his life used to be extraordinary until, due to an engineering error, relying on a frog caused a huge hole in the fabric of space. Since then, he wanders the galaxy in search of a way back home. After seeing the coins they offer him, he agrees to help them and agrees to take them to Rosalina. Meanwhile, Mario and Luigi continue their journey with Yoshi. Along the way, Mario confesses his 500, expressing his wish for Peach to become his mate following the clues she has left. They also reach the robot Rob, and thanks to the information he gives them, they discover the princess's location. They manage to reach her just before she boards the ship, and without wasting time, they join her, starting the trip together. However, the tranquility does not last long. Bowser Jr.'s ship appears on the scene and begins to pursue them, firing non-stop. Bowser, watching everything, cannot help but be impressed by his son's power and determination. Even so, he intervenes to tell him that he has lived with Mario and his friends and that although they seem strange to him deep down, they do not seem to be bad people. Bowser Jr., far from listening, responds coldly, "No." He will be eliminated immediately, but he assures that when he is done with them, they will beg for their mothers. Then he uses one of his most dangerous weapons, Mario and Luigi, seeing Bowser with his son, believe they have been betrayed. In the middle of the attack, Bowser Jr. shoots and transforms them both into babies, causing them to fall along with the ship they were traveling on. Peach, Yoshi and Fox. The ship is destroyed and Bowser Jr., satisfied, assures his father not to worry because the next day no one will remember what happened after the forced landing while Fox tries to repair the ship. Little Tock and Yoshi take care of the babies. Aware of the weapon Bowser Jr. used, Yoshi decides to go in search of him to reverse the situation. Meanwhile, babies Mario and Luigi drift away and end up running into a huge dinosaur. In their innocent mischief, they unwittingly wake him up. Just at that moment, Yoshi returns with the weapon and screams loudly, which ends up alerting the creature, which begins to chase them. In the midst of the chaos, everyone runs desperately until, without realizing it, they fall into a lake. They then use the gun to make the dinosaur small and bring the siblings back to their actual size. They go back to Fox and Peach. Then Luigi on the radio makes an announcement that they have arrived in Dinoland and are trapped. From a distance, the stars hear what happened and decide to come to his aid. For his part, Bowser Jr. tries to convince his father that friends are a weakness, assuring him that he will soon forget Mario and Luigi. Bowser, however, begins to show doubts as if something inside him has changed. Faced with this, Bowser Jr. insists, reminding him of what he told him the day he first took him to school, that friends can betray you, while family is the only thing that stays forever. With that argument, he asks. To his father, who closes his eyes and then follows him with pride, he reveals his great creation, the imposing planet he has built for both of them, where he plans to fulfill his destiny and rule the universe together. On the other hand, all the stars arrive aboard a new ship with the aim of rescuing Princess Peach and the others. With Serenity, inform them that they will arrive at the nebulous galaxy before nap. During the journey, Peach, still bewildered by everything that happened, begins to carefully review Rosalina's belongings. Among them is a book with a star-shaped cover. Intrigued, decides to open it, and what she discovers changes everything. The story speaks for itself. His story goes back many years when he lived on a small planet with his sister Rosalina. Both were made of stardust, and their bond was so powerful that together they could summon the energy of the cosmos. However, that power caught the attention of dark forces who wanted to seize it. To protect her, Rosalina made a difficult decision, sending Peach away to a safe place. That's how he got to the Mushroom Kingdom, where the Tooches raised and protected her until she was strong enough to protect them, becoming their princess. Meanwhile, Bowser Jr. shows his father the magnitude of his creation. The imposing planet Bowser shows him every detail, including the gigantic cannon he has built and which he plans to enhance using the energy of the princess he has proudly kidnapped. Guides him to a large esplanade where all his subjects gather. There Bowser takes the floor and, with a mixture of reflection and pride, states that sometimes one can get lost along the way, but that with a little luck, even a younger version of one himself can help rediscover his true nature. Immediately afterwards, he salutes his glasses, proclaiming that his king has returned. For their part, an unexpected alliance has been formed. The Star Fox team, the Stars, Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach, and their allies, united by the same objective, finally arrive at the planet Bowser. The strategy is clear. Divide to increase your odds. Luigi and Yoshi take one path, while Mario and Peach advance another. They enter the nebulous galaxy, determined to confront Bowser and his son in the heart of enemy territory. Rosalina is being used as a power source to activate the cannon. Bowser Jr., confident, assures that he has designed an impenetrable security system capable of reducing anyone who tries to interfere to ashes. Mario and Peach were nearby and he discovers them right away. Bowser Jr. activates a series of obstacles inspired by classic challenges, rivers of lava, unstable platforms, and deadly traps that must be dodged with precision. Despite everything, Mario and Peach manage to move forward, working in perfect sync. Bowser Jr.'s frustration increases as he sees them pass each test, so he escalates the difficulty by throwing explosives and creating new dangers. However, Mario shows wit and quickness. Using Peach's umbrella, find a way to draw obstacles and continue moving closer and closer to your final goal. Enraged, Bowser Padre bursts onto the scene and declares that he has had enough with evident resentment. He remembers how he was humiliated at his wedding, reduced to a miniature version and held prisoner for so long, even forced to participate in activities he detests like a reading workshop. Unable to take it any longer, he decides to confront Mario and Princess Peach head-on. They both fight him with determination, and after an intense fight, they manage to make him fall into a lava lake. Bowser Jr. witnesses the scene, and when he sees his father's body, he is deeply affected. However, to his surprise, Bowser survives. From among the flames emerges a terrifying new form of his reanimated skeleton. He now proclaims himself the Skeleton King. His son, thrilled, reaffirms his loyalty, declaring that he is the king's heir, and together they decide to continue the battle with renewed ferocity. Mario, aware of the danger, makes a crucial decision, shuts one of the doors to allow Peach to move on and rescue Rosalina, while he stays behind to face Bowser and Bowser Jr. alone. An intense fight then breaks out. Mario resists as best he can against both villains, while on the other hand Peach manages to reach Rosalina, although he cannot free her from. Immediately, when the situation seems unsustainable for Mario, Luigi and Yoshi arrive just in time to help, bringing with them some surprise cubes, which they use strategically to distract enemies. Thanks to this distraction, they manage to snatch the magic brush from Bowser Jr. Luigi quickly makes a drawing that comes to life and manages to momentarily defeat Bowser. However, Bowser Jr. recovers his weapon and in a desperate act creates a gigantic monster. However, the creature ends up becoming unstable and ends up devouring Bowser Jr.'s screams can be heard from inside. At that moment, Mario uses another surprise cube and bravely attacks the monster. He manages to weaken him enough to free Bowser Jr., thus allowing father and son to reunite once again in the midst of chaos. At the same time, Peach manages to reach Rosalina, and seeing that he cannot free her on his own, asks her to join his hands. At that moment, the bond between the two manifests itself with enormous strength. The power of the two sisters awakens, and when combined, unleashes an energy capable of freeing the planet Bowser. The threat disappears, and finally everything returns to calm. The galaxy regains its balance and peace seems to be restored. For its part, Bowser's head, still in its skeletal form, along with his son undertake the search for the rest of his body, determined to get back together and come back someday. Sometime later, the stars ask Rosalina to visit the Mushroom Kingdom to see the castle. However, upon arrival, they discover that it no longer exists. Far from giving up, they all decide to work together to build one new one. Thus, Touch Stars and all the inhabitants of the kingdom collaborate in a common task, building a castle even more beautiful than the previous one. The scene reflects unity, effort, and hope. Once the construction is completed, Princess Peach, with a sweet and meaningful gesture, gives Mario a kiss on the cheek. Simply thrilled, he places the Mushroom Kingdom flag at the top of the castle, marking the closure of the adventure. But the story doesn't end there. In the post-credits scene, we see Fox say goodbye, explaining to Toad that the princess managed to repair her ship and that she will finally be able to return home. Then the scene changes. Bowser Jr. appears next to his father's remains. Bowser determinedly affirms that no prison can hold them forever. However, they are interrupted by a disturbing presence. The Death Star and Sadness manifest themselves before them, warning them that any attempt to escape will have terrible consequences. In a cold voice, he lists his fate. First the body, then the bones, then the dust, and finally death. His words leave both of them completely terrified. This is how the movie concludes. If you liked it, don't forget to like it and subscribe for more content. Until next time.